My microphone is officially broken now. It's been on the brink for a while. So today the best I can do is banana mic. Welcome back to Lizard of Doom. I am Max. Let's just get straight into it today. This is a wing Gundam. This is a cool model, but the box art has got so much going on, I can't really read it. So if you look at the side, you can see actual poses of the really cool model with these giant wings. This is what attracted me to this for this Tzeentch build. I wanted to use those big wing bits in a cool and interesting manner. Once I had this thing built, which took a long time, longer than I like to admit, it looked awesome. And there were a bunch of ways that you could display its wings. You could spread them out, you could tuck them in. Those two ones with sword handles became swords. It was very, very cool, but very, very complex. This may be something that I don't fully use as part of this kitbash. I'm going to use the wing pieces, but whether or not I use the complicated mechanisms underneath, there's about 3 or 4 or 5 different hinges in each wing that allow you to do cool poses. I don't think that's going to be fully necessary for this, but I am going to use the cool, twisted, awesome wing pieces that I think will make a cool addition to a Tzeentch Demon Prince Gundam kitbash build. But first, you may be thinking, Max, where did you get that sick samurai t-shirt? Well, let me tell you, it's Into the AM. They produce a wide variety of awesome graphic t-shirts for all of your requirements. They also produce standard basic tees and polo shirts as well, for whatever event you may have coming up. So head over to Into the AM at www.intotheam.com/lizardofdoom for an extra 10% off. You can also get 60% off with certain bundle deals on these sweet graphic t-shirts. So let me say that again, www.intotheam.com/lizardofdoom. Thank you, Into the AM, for sponsoring this video. Go check them out. It really helps me when you check out the sponsors. Link down below in the description. Let's get back to the build. The first step I would need to take is to disassemble the entire Gundam. Not fully to each component part, but 2 large sections to decide what I would be using and what I would be swapping out. The main bit I would be keeping the same is the legs. They don't need much changing in my opinion, and also this is going to be the most Gundam heavy area. I like the bum flap and the side pointy flaps, but other things are going to be changed. The one area that's considerably changing is the torso. This is a Tomb King Necrosphinx torso. It sat in my bits box for years, it was a treasured possession, but now they've brought it back out again. You can see it's roughly the same size as the Gundam torso, but unfortunately, it's not going to connect very well to the legs. So I need to remove that little hip bit there that joins into the bottom of the Gundam and slide it up under this rib cage to make this fit to the legs. Hopefully, this isn't going to be too much work. It was a lot of work. This this took a lot of cutting and reshaping to fit it to this rib cage. It kind of goes in on itself underneath. So yeah, this took a lot of reshaping. All of these tools in the background you can see were used to fit this into the bottom of the body. But now this fit in the bottom of the body, I'd start to think about the rest of the torso. This hood needs to come off because the head I'm planning on using is a griffin head from the old Empire Griffin. This thing has had some Empire insignia removed from its head, so there's a hole there I'll have to fill, and also does not fit in this hood. So I'm going to take the front off along this line and then leave the rest on the back that hopefully will look like a Psyker hood. I'm going to have to cut the back off this griffin's head as well, because then I can put it together and then hopefully you won't be able to see the gap. Some rough clipping to start this removal process, and then I'd get on to cutting and scraping with a scalpel and eventually filing. Something weird about this kit is that it gets thicker as it goes back in this hood. Why wouldn't they just make it all the same thickness? You can see how thick that section is. Why isn't this hood just like a normal hood? Once I cut the back of the griffin's head off, it now fit on the front of this hood. It made it look like there was a big bird stuffed inside this Egyptian-looking armour. The Egyptian theme obviously is because of the Thousand Suns. The Tzeentch Space Marine Legion are very Egyptian-themed, and I thought this would look pretty cool. But unfortunately, there was a massive gap. The way I could solve this is with the back of the griffin's head that I'd cut off, trimmed down, fitted reasonably neatly underneath its chin. This meant that I wouldn't have to fill that gap with anything that didn't look like it should be there. I could just make it look more like ruffled bird feathers coming out of the armour. I even used the griffin's weird little earpieces that I clipped off the top of its head to smooth out that joint a little better and hide the connection line. It would also help with the ruffled bit from the bottom of the chin, making it look like a layered feathery bird neck. I also added a little bit of chaos at this point. This is a tendril from a chaos spawn kit, and it would be the perfect disgusting tongue for our giant birdman of Tzeentch. This thing is becoming kind of in between one of the greater demons of Tzeentch and a demon prince. It's somewhere in the middle. Maybe it was a mortal that has changed. But to hide that hole in the top of its head, I would use this Gundam crowning piece on top there, and then I would put it over that hole that the Empire insignia had been clipped off from. This would be easy enough. Just needed to clip the stud off the back of the crown piece that made it fit to the Gundam head. The arms now did not fit at all, and I would have to think about this. The shoulder pads I trimmed nearly completely in half. You can see how much I cut off here. Literally to this line in the middle. The whole bit ahead of that went away, but now they completely fitted underneath the existing shoulder pad on this torso. Perfect. The arm now, not perfect. This big fat joint at the top did not fit, so I would have to scrap the Gundam arms and head back to my bits box to find something else. Luckily in my bits box were these old Demon Prince arms from the old kit before they brought out the new one. Its big spindly fingers are really creepy looking on this big birdman. I think they suit this more than they actually suited the old Demon Prince kit. They're always a bit big and weird, but this is a larger scale, and it looks like he's doing a magic spell with that special hand. He's tickling someone's ball bag, actually. Now, maybe I'll edit that out. So it looks like he's doing a magic spell. I drilled some small holes in the back and put a small hole in each wing as well, so that I could put a small piece of paperclip in there and pin the wings to the back, removing that complex jointed system and just super gluing them there. And they were very, very firm once I had done this. A lot easier than trying to repurpose that system. Next, the pièce de résistance. This is a portal from the top of a Mutaliath Vortex beast. And now, using the same pinning method, I would stick it to the shoulder pad from the Tomb King's piece, and it would be a portal floating above my Birdman wizard on the battlefield. I used half a crater from an old terrain kit on this big square base as an interesting piece, but that wouldn't detract away from the model itself. And then I primed it all black, and it's looking pretty sweet, all unified, and we are ready to get on with painting. If you are enjoying this project, please consider subscribing. These videos seem to be the best performing on this channel, so I'm going to attempt to do one of these Kitbash style Gundam videos once a month, or bring you at least something Gundam once a month, usually one of these. So yeah, subscribe. Let's go. Elven armour would be a metallic blue colour I was planning to airbrush over this miniature, but this paint was quite frankly crap. Most of the airbrush paints from Army Painter are really solid, but this one was globby and gross, and no matter how much I thinned it, it went on really poorly. The coverage was poor, the flow was poor. This is 2 coats. It's a bit blotchy, but it's good enough, and I didn't want to do any more than this because it was starting to build up a texture on the model that I did not like. So I'd have to have a little think about how I was going to proceed from here and what I was going to do to improve this, because I couldn't do another coat without it getting worse. In the meantime, I thought I would use this gold marker pen, this liquid gold from AK, to do the golden bits on this armour. I was going to do it very subtly. I wasn't going to do a lot, just bring out a few details on the Egyptian bit and tie it in with a little bit on the Gundam areas as well, so it all looked like one, but I didn't want to do too much. I did want this thing to be mostly blue. I'm not a big fan of the mass amounts of chaos trim on chaos things. It's a ball ache to paint, and I'm all about efficiency. The way I would fix that armour would be with this purple ink. Now I'd done the gold as well. I could use it to shade areas like recesses and up from underneath, and it transformed this project for me. This is the thing that saved the day. Just have a look at how it looks next to the other pre-ink version of this self. This thing is amazing. I love using inks because they're translucent. The acrylic inks are amazing, and I definitely recommend them if you're doing a big project that needs shading like this. White would be the base now for the portal, and I would use a little bit of fluo blue flux around the edges, moving on to hot pink fluo nearer the middle, then moving up to a little light fey pink in the centre. I didn't expect to use this yellow at the start, but it just needed a little something. It needed a little je ne sais quoi. It needed a little pop of colour in the middle. This colour is imp yellow. Ultramarine blue and ice yellow were how I would paint up the bird. The way I would do this is get my ultramarine blue and slowly mix small amounts of the ice yellow into this colour to create a gradient building up as I was highlighting and getting lighter and lighter. This is in fact how I would paint all of the colours using just the base colour and mixing in this little ice yellow to all of these you see on screen now. This is how I would highlight the entire miniature, and it works really well. That ice yellow provides the same tone to all the highlights. For the basing, I would do really rough jaggedy highlights because I know this isn't going to matter because of a step coming up in a minute. And I also use a volcanic basing texture paint from AK to do some texture on the base. The base is meant to be uninteresting. It's a scorched battlefield. The bit that I thought would cover all this, and it did, is this black pigment powder from Vallejo. This was going to be put all over the base and leading up the Gundam until it got brighter nearer the top. Some nice dirt and debris from the fight. So that's the process, warts and all, and let's have a little look at the reveal shots for this boy just coming up now. But first of all, I'm giving this Gundam away to a subscriber for this channel. So if you want to own this creation, you need to leave a comment saying, "It is my fate to own this artifact." And then at 20,000 subscribers, I'll be giving this one away. In the meantime, there is a giveaway at 18,500 subscribers, which is my Mechanicus gun tank. So that video is on the channel. Go and check that out. I'll put it in the top corner now if you wanted to look at that. Thank you to my Patreons who support me. Without this would not be possible. Like I said earlier, I'm planning on doing one of these a month now. So if that is something you would like to see, please consider supporting me because I'd like to use better and better Gundams. I've just introduced a new tier to the Patreon. That is the egg tier. It is £1. You don't get a lot of benefits from it, but if enough people sign up, it would really make a difference to this channel's budget and I could start using better and better kits. So thank you for supporting me, and thank you for Into the AM for supporting me as well. Go and check them out at the link below. They have sponsored this video because last time you guys went and checked out that link. So please do, if you help support them, it helps support me because they will come back and sponsor me again. You know how this works. Leave a little like for the like god and a comment for the algorithm throne. That's always helpful to get these videos out there. I have been baiting people calling things that aren't Gundam Gundams for comments, and but this actually is a Gundam this time, so I can't do that this time. Thank you for watching. Remember, it is not a pile of shame. It is a pile of future fun. See you next time, kids. Peace.